Commissioner, congratulations on the start of another season. Well done. You know, last 7 champions have come from 7 different teams. Are we seeing the end of the dynasty, Commissioner Silver, and is that good for the game?
Well, we'll see if it's the end of the dynasty. What we set out to do was create a level playing field in terms of competition, but not necessarily to have a different champion every year.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be determined on the floor. I don't think OKC, I'm going out there tonight, I don't think they think it's the end of the dynasty. Yeah. I think they may even be a preseason favorite. So what we wanted to happen, I mean, in the NFL, they have a similar system. You still have dynasties. So it's not, the goal is to have fair competition every night.
As we look ahead to this new season, what are you most excited about?
Cooper Flagg, we were just talking about, you know, I'm a Duke guy, so I can't wait to see him as a Dallas Maverick. You know, Victor Wembanyama is healthy again. I mean, you know, the opening segment was talking about you got sort of the old guys. I mean, I don't know if LeBron wants to think of himself as an old guy, but he's got a little small injury at the moment, but he'll be back in a few weeks. Steph seems to still, you know, be playing as if he were 10 years younger. It feels like he's still in his prime. You know, Kevin Durant's with a new team. I'm going to see him. The Rockets are playing OKC tonight. I'll be out there. Your Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, new coach, but, you know, I mean, they got 1 game away from the finals. I think they're highly motivated. Jalen Brunson's ready, I think, to have an MVP level season. So I'm just really excited for all that's going on around the league. We're
really excited that the league is back back to its rightful home here on NBC. I grew up watching the NBA on the.
It's been 23 years.
Yeah, I know, it's been a long time. It's also a very different game. I want to show you a graphic here. I want to talk about three-pointers here for a moment because the top graphic. This was top 300 shot locations back in 2005. You can sort of see the sort of even distribution. Today, you see the number of shots beyond the arc there. So many teams rely so much on the three-pointer. Has that changed the game in a dramatic way? And if so, is that good for the game?
Well, there's no question it's changed the game. I think analytics have taken over in every sport, and it's an inefficient shot to shoot a mid-range two-point shot as opposed to that three-point shot. You know, we've talked a lot about it at the league. I think once we got into the playoffs last year, nobody said they were missing the mid-range two-point shot and the three-point shot as a higher level of difficulty. It's something we continue to look at. I mean, games evolve over time. I mean, just think about from the game last time we were on NBC, big men could never shoot the way they can now. Look at a player like Victor Wembanyama. Like any big man in the league has to be able to shoot. So we'll see. Interestingly enough, you mentioned before that the John Tesh music, and when you saw John and his wife Connie are here, thrilled to have them back. That reminded you of Michael Jordan. You know, Michael Jordan's back on NBC too as well. Mike Tirico's doing an interview with him tonight, and I know that's one of the things that Mike is going to be talking to him about. So I'll rely on MJ on that. But we look at it. You know, the fact is, earlier in the season last year there was a lot of chatter around it. But as I said, then when we got into the playoffs, people were hardly talking about it. So I think people love the modern NBA.
Let's talk about the All-Star game as well, because you acknowledge that what we tried last year, maybe a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
What are we going to see this year in terms of the All-Star game? Because the scuttlebutt is it's going to resemble the Ryder Cup.
Well, so first of all, we're going to see the All-Star game back on NBC, so we're thrilled with that. And I think, yes, we're going to look at a Ryder Cup type format, and we're going to be right in the middle of the Winter Olympics, which, of course, will also be on NBC. So we thought this was the season it made sense to have U.S. versus international competition. So we're playing around a little bit with the precise format. You know, we roughly a third of our league is international, so we have to figure out a way to make it fair to the All-Stars that if 1/3 of the team is international, we want to make sure that U.S. All-Stars get a fair shot. But essentially the competition will be U.S. versus international. I think the guys will get up for that.
But you mentioned the international players. I want to show you one more graphic here before I let you go. If you look at the last 7 MVPs in the NBA, they're all foreign-born.
Yep.
What would you say to those who would say to you, Mr. Commissioner, the global game is growing at the expense of domestic talent?
No chance at the expense of, as I said, I mean, it's roughly 30% or so of the players in this league are international, so the vast majority of players are still U.S., but I think that graphic about the last 7 players being international, I think that gets USA basketball now run by Grant Hill. I mean, that gets them, you know, energized, and I think that there are things we need to do with our, you have a son who plays basketball. I think there are things we need to do about youth development here. There are aspects of the international game, especially in terms of young players, boys and girls, that frankly is just better than what we're doing in the U.S. right now.
Before I let you get out of here, WNBA, as you know, they're calling for, players in the WNBA are calling for more money. They 9%, I believe, accordingly. They get 9% of total revenue compared to roughly 50% of the revenue of NBA players. Should they be getting a larger share of the revenue in the WNBA?
Yes. I mean, I think the share isn't the right way to look at it because there's so much more revenue in the NBA. I think you should look at it in absolute numbers in terms of what they're making, and they are going to get a big increase in this cycle of collective bargaining, and they deserve it.
Commissioner Adam Silver, best of luck.
Thank you, Craig.
And by the way, welcome home. Welcome home.
Yeah, thrilled to be here.
I hope you stick around for Round Ball Rock later.
Of course.
All right. Another reminder, in case you hadn't heard, the NBA season tipping off tonight with a doubleheader on NBC and Peacock. The Rockets and Thunder, followed by the Warriors and Lakers. Coverage starting at 6:30 Eastern.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.